I saw a video today on X of something I never knew about you, of you taking a black hole slam
Yeah.
from Abyss. Every word that came out of my mouth was so cringe. Hamster and grenades. Believe me.
Let's talk about WWE Evolve's Succession. It is live this Wednesday, October 15th.
If you watch this show, Succession, you will fall in love with Evolve and you'll want to watch it every week.
These names, aces and eights, they're coming out of the woodwork, and I'm like, literally, it sparks nostalgia, which I love.
Is the Evolve champion, Jackson Drake. And those three guys are just awesome. They're in great shape. They can speak well. They can wrestle. We talked about checking boxes like her. They could check every box. It's a cosmetic industry. By the way, not even just for wrestling, just for life. That's why I'm still obviously in the gym 5-6 days a week. Botox and fillers are my friends. I want to make sure my hair is fully in.
I remember Jimmy Hart would always say, if you look like you should end up in the front row, that's where you're going to end up, is in the front row. Hey guys, welcome to Velvet Ropes on Wrestling News Co. I'm your host, SoCal Val, and today's guest, get ready for it. He's a mogul. He's a twin dad. He's a multifaceted superstar, and in my opinion, seriously, bro, one of the most entertaining wrestling stars of our generation. It's WWE's own Robert Stone.
Well, thank you. I got it because it's on my mind right now and I have to get it off immediately. I saw a video today on X of something I never knew about you, of you taking a black hole slam from Abyss. And just looking at it, even though it was what, 17, 18 years ago, my heart dropped seeing it. Like you're not a wrestler, Val. That is, you don't go like in the ring and do physicals. That is not you. I did not feel comfortable seeing that.
I know. I bruise like a peach. You know I'm allergic to physical contact.
Yeah.
But our friend Abyss, who we're so proud of, I love so much, Abyss, you know what? It felt like I was laid down in like a little meadow. It was so, I felt nothing.
Well, seeing that kind of reminded me of the one time we went to Gold's Gym together, and it just like wasn't right. You were in there, and the weights were dirty, and like, it just wasn't. You being in that scene wasn't. You're better than that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Gold's Gym. Hey, where's the platinum? Am I right? You know what I'm saying? But no, seriously, I have to say, I have been so proud to see all of our TNA alumni and indie alumni, but you, my friend, I could literally cry. You know, I'm a crier. I'm so proud to see you doing so well. And I just mentioned, you're a dad, you're a mogul, but in all seriousness, like you have such a multifaceted career within WWE and Indies and TNA and all these different places. But within WWE in particular, your talents range from manager, commentator, wrestler, producer. I know you love accessories, bro, but that's a lot of hats even for you to be wearing, even for you.
Well, I think I don't want to say like they don't make them like me anymore. There are others like me. Please, I'm not trying to say I'm the only one. But a lot of people nowadays focus on one thing, and I just always have wanted to learn every craft within pro wrestling, within our industry. And being a little older, I've got the experience to do that. So if you put a commentary headset on me, I could kind of do it like that. If you tell me to wrestle a match, what time is it? Yeah, I could do it in an hour. I don't have to get ready for it. I can manage. I could help. It's just wrestling's very natural to me. So if I could do all those things, why not try and like spread my wings and let as many people sit under my tree of knowledge as possible?
No, legit, and you're paying it forward, which is great. I'm gonna compare you to Kurt Angle right now because I said this to him, and not to drop a name.
Kurt Angle.
Yeah, because because you were the Olympics. Wait, no, because I said this to him recently at a Comic Con. I was like, genuinely, he's one of those wrestlers that ticks all the boxes. Like anything you give him to do, he does it really well. Commentary, comedy, hosting, all of that stuff. But I love seeing you hosting more as well. Like because you're such an amazing talker, and I've seen you in character, but even out of character. With your different characters in TNA, you're a really good talker. But what was it like to sort of transition more now to being on camera, and where do you get the confidence to get, in front of a live crowd or in front of the fans to talk as well as you do?
I just think the more, I mean, you know this, Val, the more you do this, the more you used to it you get. And it's like you think about it less and you just go. When the red light's on, you just go. I mean, sometimes you read a script, or sometimes even before you wrestle a match, you might have second thoughts or second guess something. But when you go out there, it's got to get done. And if you are just fully confident in what you do, if you believe, they will believe. And you just got to know it'll always come out all right at the end. You know what I mean? Don't think about it too much.
It's so true. And again, like you said, they're under your tree of knowledge, and they are lucky to have you there because you're such a wealth of knowledge. Now, let's go ahead and let's get to the one we've all been waiting for. Let's get to what's setting the internet buzzing. Let's talk about WWE Evolve's Succession. It is live this Wednesday, October 15th on Tubi. What can we expect from this show, Rob?
Well, I'll tell you this: the first ever, and you could correct me if I'm wrong. I know you were a part of the OG Evolve, correct?
I was, and
Right.
that's why I was
You
again so excited to talk to you because I love that they've revamped Evolve, and it means a lot to me to see it in great hands.
Well, so the first ever show, January 2010, Rawway Rec Center in New Jersey. Over 15 years ago, to think from that independent wrestling show to have said, hey, in 15 years, you're going to be now called WWE Evolve and have a special on Tubi. It's wild to even think about that. But this show, I mean, Evolve's been on Tubi now for, I think, about give or take 6 months. This is hands down going to be the biggest show ever. Two, not one, two championship matches in one night. The women's Evolve championship is being defended, the Evolve Championship, and then there's also going to be a bull rope match. So it's going to be a wild show. I'm excited to call the action on it. And I think it's a chance for, like, if you gave Evolve a shot at the beginning when it first started, give or take, like I said, 6 months ago, and maybe fell off because there's so many wrestling shows on, this is a good time to give it a second chance. This is a show you don't want to miss. If you're out there listening, try it again. I promise if you watch this show Succession, you will fall in love with Evolve and you'll want to watch it every week.
Exactly, and you're literally seeing stars in the making, and you're seeing people, literally that's why it's called Evolve, aptly named. But, I love, by the way, the bull rope match. It's a little nod to nostalgia. I think that's so cool, and Evolve's really good for doing that. But speaking of nostalgia, October 7th was your 15-year, I think, TV debut with
Yeah.
TNA Wrestling. Where has the time gone? Let's all
Well,
check our
where
what's going on.
where's the time gone? Where has like the how has the vocabulary changed? Because I went back, I got so many videos of my debut on X and stuff that like fans were sending, and I watched Robbie E and Cookie deliver this in-ring interview for 5 minutes, and every word that came out of my mouth was so cringe.
No.
Hamster and grenades. Believe me, it was hilarious to watch, and it's great to look back at that. But like, if I showed my kids that, they would be mortified. They would be like like my kids already think I'm like the biggest story. If I showed them that, they would be like, Dad, please do not let that get out for anyone in our school or anywhere to see. But it was hilarious to watch. Remember Cookie? That was a real thing.
Oh my gosh,
Well,
I was talking to let's kick it old school for a second, if I may. I talk to Tracy Brooks all the time, she was getting ready for the Hall of Fame, we were chatting, and she was like, "Yeah, Fortune 4 and Main Event Mafia," and I was like, "These names, aces and eights, they're coming out of the woodwork," and I'm like, literally, it sparks nostalgia, which I love.
was that even a real time in our lives?
I
I'll have
don't
to.
even know. I don't even
I'll
know.
have to.
Now, I don't wanna put you on the spot, Mr. Stone, but I realize you can't play favorites, but you clearly have an eye for talent. Is there anyone that's specifically intriguing you when it comes to this stellar Evolve roster that you have going?
So in Evolve, that's the cool thing about it. There's like a mixture of talent. You get, I mean, some raw SmackDown talent, NXT talent, but it's mainly WWE Performance Center talent, trainees. Maybe they haven't made their debut on NXT yet, and then also WWE ID prospects who are independent wrestlers that are under contracts but not full time WWE contracts, which is crazy in itself. Um, so you get a mixture of talent, but I would say there's a group called the Vanity Project with these guys. They're a tag team called Swipe Right. You would love them, Val. And then also
I know.
the leader, the leader is the Evolve champion, Jackson Drake. And I mean, those three guys are just awesome. They're in great shape. They could speak well. They can wrestle. We talked about checking boxes. Like Kurt, I mean, they could check every box. They could do it all.
Yeah.
Those three are in any interview I do, if I'm asked, they're just going to come to my mind first. But our Evolve Women's Champion, Callie Armstrong's phenomenal. Kendall Gray's phenomenal. Just any talent that you see on there is growing in the right direction, and they're all getting better and better.
And I love that. They're evolving. There's the pun again. I can't help
There you
myself.
go.
Well,
Love
now,
puns.
talking about the internet
You love a
buzzing
good
about this
pun, don't
particular
you?
show, I told you it's gonna be a giggle fest. I just seeing you on screen, I'm like, "Oh god, the professionalism just goes out the window." And we will tell a funny story before we go because I can't help myself again. But I have to ask you, so some are calling this NXT and TNA feud. They're calling it a feud. They're calling it controversial. I mean, it's got everyone buzzing on the internet. You recently called it a dream partnership. Can you elaborate on why you see it as a dream partnership?
Well, we talked about my debut in 2010. When did you start with TNA? What year was that?
Oh gosh, 2004.
So when someone if someone in 2004 said to you, Val, one day NXT, some form of the WWE is going to be working with TNA, we're going to do a joint show, it would have been laughable, right?
I wouldn't have. I genuinely, I would not have believed them. But
No, there's no way. So it's just like where wrestling's come and how this relationship came about. It's just crazy. So it is a dream because again, like I remember sitting in the locker room looking at all the talented guys with me in 2010 in the TNA locker room. And at the time, you would have said, like, not only would there never be a joint show, most of these guys will probably never even go to WWE. There was always that, that feeling or those rumors of like WWE doesn't want any TNA guys. And it's just 15 years later, just the landscape has changed and like, look where it is. So, I mean, it is a dream show.
and I
Pitch
think
me.
yeah, and I think it's a great time to be a wrestling fan because I think everyone, that's it's I don't see it always as competition. It's more like keeping everyone on their toes, which is great. You've got WWE, you've got TNA, but I agree. Like I'll tell you, AJ Styles, and I kind of want to do the accent. He was like, Val, I watched some of this with WWE show. Val, frick. He was like, Val, fucking- like Val. He quoted, he's like, everybody's here. We got Bobby, we got EY at the time, all these people, and I'm like, wow. But what is it like for you to see so many of your comrades from past, not just TNA, but from past shows, in my opinion, finally getting like the star treatment and the recognition that they deserve. Because for me, like I will be at Mania and AJ would come out, or like, or I'll be watching something and like, Petey Williams will be at ringside. I'm like, what's happening? It's just so heartwarming. But what is it like for you to see all of that and that sort of
I mean,
happen?
I think it's as simple to say as how is that? I want to make sure I say this right. Is it the cream always rises to the top, right? Yeah, I mean, I think it's just as simple as that. When you're that talented, how at some point could you not be a main focus? How at some point could you not be on the biggest show on the planet? So I think I guess you could say where it's come is surprising because again, TNA was always looked at as maybe a place where the guys on the roster wouldn't go to the WWE, but
Yeah.
also when you are that talented, they fit right in. They belong right away. It wasn't a phase where they had to blend in or anything. The first day all these guys or girls debuted in WWE, they all were immediately superstars. And also I'm going to bring up a name of someone who I see on a regular basis that might make you get a little sweaty or something, but I regularly do talk to Terry Taylor, and, I know, sorry. I know.
I think
It's
he is
wild.
just a dreamboat all aboard. Love
I
him.
know, and he's getting younger with age. See what I did with that? Like,
I know.
it's just
He and Mickey
best
James, like,
shape of his life.
Benjamin Buttons of wrestling. I hate it so much.
It's
What is
wild.
it what is it like to be around Terry Taylor? What is Terry Taylor doing? And I mean, he's just shaping all of the he's doing what he did in TNA, right? He's just shaping all of the talent and making them better.
I mean, yeah, and, it's rare to have as long as he's been around. I don't wanna give his age, but I don't know if there's a coach there that has been around as long as him. So
Right.
he's seen it all, he's done it all. So to pass that knowledge on to some of these, newbies to the industry, it's like, it's priceless. I don't even know if they realize the kind of wrestling education that they're getting from, but he's great. And he always drops a frick or he always drops a joke. I mean, or he opens a refrigerator and tries to slam it into my head, or he reminds me of, how he tried to get me a better paying contract when I was on the Amazing Race. All those things that he has to remind you on a regular basis.
Oh my gosh, he's responsible for so many great things in my career as well. Honestly, please send my love for sure. Well, you mentioned being a superstar. I think a big part of being a superstar is looking the part. And you, my friend, I mean, Nick Aldis suits and boots up well too, but you always look the part. What is it like for you to kind of have that aesthetic part of your career? Because you've had different looks, but especially now, as in your role that you have now, you're always really, really top notch. So, how important is that to you, the fashion of it all?
Oh, 100%, 110%. I mean, it's a cosmetic industry. By the way, I don't like that when you said Nick Aldis, you didn't say all this and didn't
When
like
you get Nick, you get all this.
yeah.
Yeah. Still waiting on that royalty check from that beautiful Civic tagline.
Well, I mean, I feel when I wake up and I look in the mirror, I want to see something that I like. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if I physically look good, then I'll mentally look good. Not even just for wrestling, just for life. That's why I'm
Yeah.
still obviously in the gym 5, 6 days a week. Botox and fillers are my friends. I want to make sure, my hair is fully in. I always want to dress to impress. It's a part that comes with being a superstar. And I take it seriously. And I think a lot of people need to realize that that is just as important. Your appearance is just as important as anything else in wrestling. What you do in the ring, the way you speak, you got to look. If you want to be the part, you got to look the part, right?
1000%. Remember, Jimmy Hart would always say, if you look like you should end up in the front row, that's where you're going to end up, is in the front row. If you look like you belong there, hey, that's fate for sure. But you did mention the gym, and I wanted to talk to you about your mogul side of things. And you are also a business owner. Tell us about your business ventures.
So when we first moved to Orlando, my wife was a member of F45. It's a worldwide gym. It originally started in Australia. They're all around. She fell in love with it. She's always been in the fitness industry, worked in corporate for different fitness companies. And she was like, let's just open one. I love it. Like, I won't let it fail. We opened one close to our house. It did phenomenal. So we opened a second and a third. Now we're up to 6 F45s in the Orlando area. But now we've also opened two and about to be our third FS8, which is under the F45 umbrella, but they are like Pilates studios. So we own not nine between F45 and FS8. We own 9 studios in the Orlando area. It's pretty wild. Yeah, it's 24/7, but I mean, they're all doing great. They're both great workouts. I mean, at this point, they kind of run themselves. They all have studio managers, but we all pop into them regularly. It's great on a hurricane day when all gyms are closed and you just have the keys to your own gym and you could just go open it up and work out in it. So that's a plus to having your own gym. But no, it's been a great business venture, and yeah, it's nice to have like just your mind focused on some different things besides wrestling to clear your head for a little bit, you know?
For sure. And I don't know how you find the time for it all, because when you're not working on your crazy, wrestling schedule and your manic gym schedule, it's not just future wrestling stars you're looking after. You are a proud twin dad, and your boys, Cash and Carter, the mini moguls, double charisma for days. They seem to really, really be popular in wrestling already at their young ages. But was that your intention to get them into the business, or did you have any reservations about involving them? How did that all come about?
I mean, to be very honest, like they don't even really watch wrestling much. They don't watch TV much. Wrestling now, they're in third grade now, so they might come home and say, like my friend mentioned Cody Rhodes. I think they probably can name 5 wrestlers: Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, The Rock, John Cena. You know what I mean? So they're actually not fully into it, but when it was proposed to me for them to be involved in some fun backstage segments, of course I knew that they would want to do it because they got to go to school and say that they were on TV and show their
Sure.
teacher and stuff. So they thought it was cool. But also, we have one rule, and I have said this before, but when I pick them up from school, I'm always in a cutoff shirt, and I have to make them know that there are no other dads that are as fit as me, that are as good looking as me, that are as tan as me. Like they need to know that their dad is on another level than all the other dads.
Yeah.
They gotta know that.
That's
That
non-negotiable.
that it's a deal breaker. I'm not picking them up from school. My wife will have to if they don't agree to that. That I have to wear cutoff shirts.
There is no room for error in the Stone household. Got it, got it. That's a
Well, it's funny. There's a new Robert Stone shirt just came out on WWE shop a few weeks ago, and I showed them it, and I was like, "Don't you think it's cool, like the shirt with my face on it?" And they completely buried it. I was like, "Do you want me to get you each a shirt?" They were like, "No, I'm not wearing that to school. Please don't wear it to school." You pick us up, and I'm like, "Guys, like I have my own shirt. You don't think that's cool at all?" And they're just like, do not pick us up in that." So
You're still dad at the end of the day. I love that.
yeah.
Well, that's very funny, but you know what's not funny is, I promised a personal story here, and I'm gonna walk
Oh
you guys
man.
through, when we were on the road ski, going to TNA live events, not house shows, TNA live events.
Correct.
I would very often, ride with some of the guys. I had the rental cars. I was like, yeah, this was a great setup, right? You guys got to the gym. I'm like, cool. I'll be at the mall. Don't fight with other kids on the bus. I'll pick you up later. It was a perfect setup until on this tour, we arrive at this undisclosed restaurant. I don't want the anti-sponsor thing going on, so I'm not mentioning names here, but you're about to be called out. We go into the restaurant. I'd already eaten a bit, and you guys all sat. I think it's you, Bobby Roode, I don't know, Rob Terry, whoever. And love him, by the way. I'd love to interview him, by the way. We need to get back in touch. So all of you guys are, having your protein and you're eating, and I only got a bowl of soup. And we'll all go to get our bills. Yeah, see, look, you're looking sheepish already. And we go to get the bill, and you said, very uncharacteristically said, "No, no, Val, I got it." I go, "Oh, you don't have to do that." "No, no, no, my pleasure. I got it."
Yeah, I'm a
We
nice
all
guy.
leave. I knew something was up then. We leave and we go to the car. I'll never forget just hear like watching your shoulders shake and hearing this like laughter. And I was like, what's going on? Do you want to tell the folks at home watching around the world what happened?
I think you should finish the story. I mean, I'm on the edge of my seat listening
Can,
because it's kind of it's surreal.
can we just say, like, this still to this day bothers me? I am such a teacher's pet. You didn't pay for my soup. You walked out on a tab. By the way, then you guys wanted to go to the same restaurant the next day, and I was mortified and I refused to go.
So to be honest, the younger the version of myself. Remember how I said like 2010 and TNA feels like a lifetime ago. It doesn't even feel like me. That was a different guy. I would never do anything like that now. And you know what? This interview has just us talking right now is kind of right when we get off. I'm going to go in my phone. I know exactly where that restaurant is.
Okay.
I'm going to call them and I'm going to mail them $5, $6, whatever it is for that soup. And I apologize.
Wow.
I'm making a public. Yeah, I apologize. Yeah, that was wrong of me to do.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is a grown Robbie,
Where
E,
was
right?
where was this guy? Hi, I'm Val, by the way. Very nice to meet you, sir. Look at my wrestler handshake. My God. Well, all jokes aside,
Oh yeah,
we had
remember the
yeah. Let's try to do it really like old school. So we have so many fun stories from the road. That was one of my personal favorites. But now that we've evolved, that's like the third pun I did. I can't. Now that we've both evolved, I am honestly very much looking forward to watching Evolve Succession. It's going to be live this Wednesday, October 15th on Tubi. I know you guys want to use that hashtag WWE Evolve when discussing this unmissable show on social media. But any final words for the fans going into this show because it is stacked. And I know, like you said, if they've never given Evolve a chance, or if they did and they want to come back, this really seems like the right time to do so.
well, just remember the Tubi app is free. Everyone could download it for zero charge. So you are watching this for absolutely free. You can watch every episode. You could go back and watch all the old episodes for no money. So it is free. Why wouldn't you give it a shot? And yeah, it's just again 2 championship matches, a bull rope match. A place where you could see independent talent on WWE programming is unheard of. So it's just a different show, a different feel, a different vibe than all other WWE shows. Plus, I mean, you get to hear me and Peter Rosenberg on commentary. What,
Well, it could
is
be
there
better
anything
than that.
better?
That's worth the price of
Yeah.
admission. But as you said, free 99. Heck yeah. This Wednesday, I am stoked to be watching Mr. Stone. In all seriousness, I'm wishing you continued and much deserved success. And thank you for keeping Evolve in such safe hands. I can't wait to watch this Wednesday.
Awesome. Thanks. Always good catching up with you, Val.
And you, and you. Thanks everyone for watching Velvet Ropes on Wrestling News Co. I'm SoCal Val, and we'll see you next time.